Royal Recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Kevin O'Sullivan, the star of What Just Happened, as well as you're on Drive Time on Talk, which is
Drive
also,
time.
you've been very busy this week because we've had another prime minister. Yeah, another one bites the dust, as Queen would say.
Yeah. Do you know, Kinsey, I'm so old that I can remember when a prime minister resigning and us getting a new prime minister was a big news event. Now it happens about once every 6 months. We have turned into a really weird country, not
Yeah.
very governable. So, yeah, so it's been an interesting week on the political front. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, as the Who said.
Hmm.
So here we go. Here we
I
go
wonder,
again.
do we have any idea about how King Charles? Well, we don't know who's up next, really. But we kind of do. I'm sorry, I'm for spacing on his
It's
name.
Andy Burnham. No, it's Andy
Andy, but
Burnham. It's
yes,
100%. I don't
yeah,
know if the King will have spoken to Andy Burnham yet. Probably not. But certainly, such is the strange constitutional nature of Britain that when Keir Starmer, he's still our current Prime Minister, but when he decided over this past weekend, yeah, my time is up, I am going to have to resign, before doing so, he has to contact the sovereign and inform him. So because of our constitution, before Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, was able to resign, he has to get the consent of His Majesty King Charles. So he did that over the weekend, and he quit yesterday.
it's my understanding, although I don't think we're supposed to know this or even debate it, but YOLO. It's my understanding that the king kind of liked Keir Starmer. Do you think that he'll like Andy Burnham as much as he liked Keir Starmer? Because, based on evidence that exists and patterns of events, it feels like the king might lean politically a little bit to
Left.
their side.
Yeah, he liked Keir Starmer. He will probably like it, Andy Burnham. I mean, we have a sort of over here. We have this kind of medium party called the Lib Dems. So the Liberal Democrats, and they're basically soppy green claptrap people, who believe in windmills and kumbaya, and everybody sings songs and live together and all that rubbish. That's what the king is. That's the kind of political worldview he's got. So they're sort of leftish, but he's a left winger. He's a green, net zero, social democrat kind of lefty. So
Yeah.
he liked Keir Starmer because that's what Keir Starmer is, and he'll like Andy Burnham for the same reasons. You
Mm.
know, I think King Charles is a nice guy. He's a
Yeah.
decent. He's a decent guy. But don't ask me about his politics because his politics drive me mad. And I do think that both him and William, since I'm on a rant now, really egregiously abuse their royal positions because they're not supposed to get involved in politics. And yet both of them campaign for net zero as if none of us have any objections to that. Well, I do.
Right.
Millions
Well,
of
because
British.
you're using your private helicopter as often as they are, you
Well,
know?
there is their hypocrisy. They're very hypocritical about the environment. Everybody's got to go around on bicycles. Apart from them, it's private jets and helicopters for them, particularly the king. But the hypocrisy is one thing. But I don't like his politics generally. He's a sort of soppy, left of centre, liberal bore, basically. Good man though. Don't get
Well,
me wrong.
yeah, no, normally I would be singing from the Alps about how much I love this king. I love King Charles. I do love King Charles, but this story that we're about to talk about has made me so uncomfortable that I've, thought to myself, I will regret defending this family over the last 6 years if this comes to fruition, Kev.
Mhm.
Overjoyed King Charles will enjoy emotional reunion with grandkids Archie and Lilibet when they visit UK next month. This is coming from an outlet we really admire and we champion, The Sun. It's coming from a journalist we really admire and champion, Matt Wilkinson. So we have no reason to doubt the legitimacy of this, but you know as well as I do that the Sussex machine is all about how can we produce the next headline. Um, they are kind of shameless in the production of headlines, and there's the truth versus their truth, and our audience really doubts that Meghan is going to show up with her shoes shined and her curtsy ready to go to see the king with the grandchildren. They're wondering if this is all just a publicity stunt. How do we navigate this conversation? And
It's
how do you feel?
it's a difficult conversation to navigate because Matt Wilkinson of the Sun, a very respected royal correspondent, I don't doubt for a second his stories, the veracity of his stories. The first story was that Harry, Meghan, and the kids were going to come back to Britain, which will be Meghan's first return trip to the UK since Megxit in 2020, her first trip here for 6 years. You know me, Kinsey, I've said all the way along the line that I'd never believed she would step foot in this country ever again. So ostensibly, I'm being proved wrong.
Not
Uh,
yet.
yeah,
Maybe.
well, wait a second. Yeah. The other element of this story, again, I've got no truck with the veracity of Matt's sources or his stories. Uh, the other tranche of this story is that the king, as you just said, has generously offered a royal palace for Harry, Meghan, and the kids to stay in, a royal property. Funnily enough, not Frogmore Cottage, one assumes, because he took that away from them. Now, that's classic King Charles. I get it. He hasn't seen his grandkids for what is it, 4 years now?
Yeah,
He wants.
and we covered this. Remember when one of the last times Prince Harry was there, we covered that the king offered him a place to stay in one of the palaces, and Harry denied that. He rejected it and said it wasn't safe enough. So that's not out of the realm of past behavior. That I do believe that they were probably
Yeah,
offered a
yeah.
royal
So
estate.
he wants. Yeah, there's no doubt. He's, in my view, that that ostensibly the story of them coming back is true, and that the king has offered them a royal property to stay in while they're here. Um, then we come to the difficult bit, the two difficult bits. Well, the first is, you know, will Meghan actually come back to Britain? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I've said from the moment Matt Wilkinson broke that excellent exclusive, my line on it was, I will believe it when I see it. I certainly wouldn't put it past the Sussex publicity machine to sort of drum up this story and then at the last minute come up with some sort of headline hitting reason for Meghan not coming or the kids not coming. No doubt Harry saying, "Well, you didn't get me a gun guard. You didn't give me any coppers with guns, so I'm not coming back." Want that again. I wouldn't put that past him. But the other aspect of this is in offering, Meghan and Harry, the gruesome twosome, and their kids a place to stay, the king has outraged William. William is furious. He is furious. The king is holding out this olive branch. I understand the king wants to see his grandchildren, but he is allowing a lot of water to have flown under the bridge to just say to Harry and Meghan, "Oh, welcome back. Here's a place for you to stay. Let's all get together." That is. I don't think that is fair to William or Kate or the rest of.
Not when 3 weeks ago Meghan was sending a Catherine troll, a Catherine critic, a goodie box from As Ever. Meghan was just
Yeah.
creating controversy or just creating friction with the Waleses 3 weeks ago by doing that. And let's not even not pretend that this is the same couple that allegedly told Omid Scobie that the royal racists were King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, which ended up in Endgame. Like I totally agree with you that if I'm Prince William and the Princess of Wales, Catherine, no way in hell am I having anything to do with this couple. In addition to that, while I understand the king trying to look like the bigger person and offering them a safe place to stay, doesn't it give them some credibility Harry and Meghan to be enveloped in that way again, or to be given that spot?
Yeah, yeah. That's another reason why it may well be possible that they are coming back, because it would be a way of looking like Harry has achieved his most cherished dream of being welcomed back into the royal fold, forgiven for all his sins of the past. Well, the king is going to sort of basically say, okay, come back, I want to see the kids. But in so doing, he's really going to alienate William and Kate, especially, but also the rest of the royal family.
And
The rest
us,
of the
Kevin, and us. We have
and
put
Camilla,
ourselves on the line for the last 6 years.
exactly, and Camilla. So the king is going out on a limb here, and diplomatically within royal circles, this offer of accommodation in a royal palace or a royal property while Harry and Meghan are here is going to cause shockwaves. It already is. And stories in the press over the weekend here in Britain, in the Mail on Sunday, saying that in terms of the relationship between King Charles and his heir, his son, King William, that they're, or rather
Almost
Prince
King William.
in the future, Prince William, yeah, that their relationship, and I quote, is not in a good place. There are problems here. There are problems here. And of course, once again, the reason William's furious is, oh, it's all down to Harry again. So the king, it's understandable. It's, on a human level, he wants to see his grandkids. He hasn't seen them for 4 years, which is frankly bizarre. It's strange. But apart from that, I think he should think of all the other elements to this and maybe think again. Because here's the other thing, Kins, when they come back for this 1 year to go in Invictus Games party, the countdown party, I don't see why he has to have this really, but he is. Who's going to go? I don't think the king will go because William won't like that. The rest of the royal family won't go. So Harry, it's put the case that Harry and Meghan and the kids do come back. Everywhere they go, it's going to look like they're being snubbed by the rest of the royal family. And the reason it will look like that is because they will be being snubbed by the rest of the royal family. The rest of the royal family, they can't stand, well, they specifically can't stand Meghan, and they hate what Meghan's done to Harry. So they don't want to see them. William and Kate, if they never see them again, it'll be too soon. So the king is really treading on eggshells here. He is in seriously dangerous territory. And, again, we admire him in many ways, but he is capable of making the most stupid decisions. And this one could well be his stupidest. He shouldn't be doing this, in my view. It's too explosive, too incendiary.
These are two liabilities when it comes to the future of the British royal family. Telling a journalist or an author or whatever we want to call him, a fantasist, whatever we want to call Omid Scobie, that the current sovereign and the future queen are allegedly racists. Do they not recognize that jeopardizes the monarchy, the stability, the authority of the monarchy? I am not in the mood to forgive and forget, specifically when it comes to Catherine, but why is King Charles not more cynical about what their ultimate objectives are? Because if they were in the mood to, reunite, why not go do it quietly at Sandringham or Balmoral? Why not go do it quietly when the family's off on vacation and they're not on and there are no expectations, and you could really protect everyone's privacy driving in and out? We'd get no photos. Thomas Markle would love a reunion with his daughter, and it just feels like the ulterior motive here is the magic, the stardust that the royal family tends to give Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, here's the deal. This is what's really enraging William and other members of the royal family, especially Kate. It's that the king is notoriously a sort of soft man. He hates arguments. He hates confrontation. And if ever there's some kind of bitter split, he wants to be a Pollyanna and mend the bridges and make sure everything's nice and pleasant again. And that's what I think is at the back of his mind in terms of Harry, Meghan, and the kids. So I'll put them up in one of the palaces or a nice property, and I'll go and see them. And William will come around, and then we'll all get together like a one big happy family. Good luck with that, King Charles, because that ain't gonna happen. Not in a month of Sundays. So I think he's misjudging the situation. This is the guy makes mistakes, and this is a massive mistake. God knows what's going to happen. But if they do come back, I think for Harry and Meghan, not the kids, they're too young to realize, but for Harry and Meghan, it's going to be humiliating because, what are they going to do? They're not going to be, even if they do see the king, they're not going to be seen with the king. I don't think the king will go to his countdown party. I don't think the king will go to the Invictus Games real when they happen here. Certainly no one else will. So, as they say in Britain, Harry, with his return trip, and Meghan, they're both cruising for a bruising. It's not going
We
to
don't. You
be
don't just say that in Britain. We say that here too. I think I stole it from
cruising for a
Greece.
bruising.
Greece or Greece
Well,
too.
there you go. Well, there, you see, we're not divided by a common language. They're cruising for a bruising. There's going to be trouble. There really will be.